to a special edition of The Smartest Moron, instead of the Dante's Inferno review I should be editing right now. Yeah, there's a reason it's not up yet. Here's that very reason. Make it stop! Make it stop! Help me! Yeah, that's not going so well. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you about something you probably may or may not have heard of before. The Xenosaga series, mainly with how an HD collection is apparently very possible, and needless to say, a movement is forming and you can sign here on this link to help support the cause. However, I didn't just wish to make this video to alert you. Rather, I wanted to do something a bit different, and risk being shot for my opinion on this matter by doing a top 10 list regarding some improvements that could be made to the HD collection. But keep in mind, I did have some help from this top 10 list from some of my friends, who, since they probably don't want me to name them, I'll just use these pictures to represent them. Yes, Ganondorf really wants the HD collection too. Naturally, I don't expect every single thing on this list to be put into the HD collection, especially the number one choice, but I do feel like it is fair to bring up some of these points. So without further ado, here are the top 10 improvements I think could be made to the HD collection of Xenosaga. Number 10. Adding an online multiplayer for the minigames. Hey, do you remember that card game in Xenosaga 1 you barely played since money was extremely hard to come by and you really wanted a giant robot more than some stupid cards that never really gave you a reward at all? Well, obviously I do. The thing is that I don't ever remember a multiplayer option for, a buddy to hop in, so adding a multiplayer component to some of these minigames could make these things much more fun and worthy of pursuit. This could probably be done with the other minigames, like the one present in Game 3. Angel Flow! Number 9. More stuff to do between the cutscenes. Keep in mind, guys, I love stories in video games. They're what I consider to be the most important factor, as well as determine whether or not I'll end up keeping the game as opposed to just shoving it off to a friend or back to GameStop. However, the cutscenes in the Xenosaga games are painfully long. In the first and second games, I honestly found myself skipping cutscenes to make sure I can get back to the gameplay, and no other game has ever caused me to do this. Just asking for a bit of a breather here. Or you can take number 8 into consideration.
Just leave it to me!
Number 8. A cinematic viewer. This was only available for Game 3 and is certainly an alternative to think about, or just to have in general for those that want specific scenes again, either because they were really interesting regarding characters, or just flat out awesome with the action it had. Or you could actually take apart the really long cutscenes and store them somewhere else. I hate to bring in Final Fantasy XIII into this, so I'll bring in Lost Odyssey instead. That game was able to take scenes and flesh them out in well-written text, though their impact on the game was minimal at best, barring maybe 1 or 2 entries. You could easily do the same thing with some of the cutscenes here that have personal matters to characters, like the story bits regarding Junior and Albedo as kids. It helps the story flow better without dragging, and better than just stuffing it all into a stupid data log like Final Fantasy XIII did. Number 7. Tweaks to Xenosaga 3's ES-HP levels. The one thing that annoyed me to hell about Xenosaga 3's mech combat was the fact that bosses can easily kill you without any warning or pattern with a single special move, and it was more of guessing rather than skill. And you can't even increase your HP to a level where you can at least survive. I mean, one of the main things that pissed me off was the Psycho Pilot and his giant cannon. Lousy cheating bastard, but let's move on to the other Actually, you know what? No, let me rant about this asshole. Why in the hell would you give an unstable soldier such a powerful weapon? For God's sakes, he blew a hole into the freaking ship in Game 2, and yet you still let him have it? What the hell's wrong with you? Number 6. Difficulty modes. The original games lacked this for the sake of replayability. Often I did wish combat would challenge me a bit more in some of the games, or in Xenosaga 2's case, just let me reach the end so I didn't get a freaking headache every 5 minutes. It's a decent alternative for number 5 when I get to it, and can help prolong the life of the games, even if only for a little bit. Hell, it would be even better if they tried to do what Bravely Default did in allowing you to switch difficulties in the middle of the game. Number 5. Change the battle system for Xenosaga 2. Have I ever told you I hate Xenosaga 2 so much? I consider it one of the worst games I have ever played. Most of the reason for my hatred comes from the battle system, which I always felt was overcomplicated. I never really felt like I knew how to play, even if I did get things right. One boss fight took as long as an hour just to finish, for crying out loud.
I think one of the main detriments is the fact that the game is so short, you aren't given a lot of time to really master it unless you grind. I get this idea when someone said how Resonance of Fate combat system was complicated, but I picked it up much easier, mainly because Resonance of Fate was at least 3 to 4 times the length of Xenosaga 2. Even if you like this system, you have to admit, it was overcomplicated for a turn-based combat game. This number's probably a bit of a harder task, but trust me, it will be possible to do if they follow number 4.
Damn you, sour!
Number 4. Include the stuff from Xenosaga 1 and 2 from the DS version. For those that don't know, there was an exclusive Xenosaga game that fused both 1 and 2, and according to information from my friends, actually helped improve the storytelling. Naturally, I'm wondering why the hell couldn't we get this game, but hey, what can you do? You know, aside from pointing this out, and hoping someone does something about it before I go insane with violent freaking rage. Anyway, let's get back at the topic at hand. According to a friend, some stuff was improved, such as meeting the 2 Psycho ES pilots earlier, what happens to Citrine, fighting the Testaments on Old Miltia, and even giving a proper final boss. I imagine this would take some difficulty, probably reanimate some stuff, but at the same time, it can improve the overall storytelling, and you have the DS game as a guide, so it's certainly not impossible, unlike my number 1 choice on this list. And considering how much my brain hurts from Xenosaga 2, it could use all the improvements. Number 3. More music in Xenosaga 1. To anyone who played the first game, you may recognize the current battle music playing right now. And recalling how the goddamn battle theme rarely, if ever, changed at all. Even during boss fights, it never changed to like another boss theme. Now, the other Xenosaga games actually fixed this problem, but this needs some serious addressing. Plus, probably more music in general, as I recall a lot of moments in Xenosaga were extremely silent, and as a result, everything just felt kinda lifeless. This is a simple fix. You could just import music from the other 2 games and no one will complain. I think Xenosaga 2 can get the same benefits as well.
Damn you!
Number 2. Fix the visual style of the games. When it comes to graphics, you notice in my reviews that I don't usually like focusing on them. After all, a good game can stand on its own even with bad visuals. However, the style has been inconsistent for the 3 games. The first was clearly meant to be some kind of like anime or something, but then Game 2 suddenly went to a more realistic style that just made the game look boring a lot of the time. And the third game went back to the anime style, and honestly, I prefer the game looking like that. Needless to say, pick a visual style and stick with it. Combined with the HD, I'm sure the game could look even better than before. Out of everything, this one seems like the more possible changes to make. Out of everything, I'm honestly hoping for this change to happen the most, since I can only imagine how good this will look on a PS4.
So, you still haven't gotten tired of getting your butts kicked, huh?
Number 1. Fix the original story to how it originally was supposed to be. For those who aren't aware, Xenosaga was originally meant to be about 5 or 6 games. Games 1 and 2 were actually meant to be one game and were made into one for the DS, which I explained earlier was exclusive to Japan. Unfortunately, Namco kinda cut the hatchet on the story and really hurt the writers to the point where they walked off. It certainly explained the rushed and confusing ending of Game 3 that forced me to ask this question.
What the hell was that?
However, the writers of Xenosaga are no longer with Namco Bandai, and honestly, I don't really blame them after that dick move. I would still love to see how the original story was going to be. I mean, Lord knows Namco Bandai had no problems publishing 7 dot hack games, yet only chose 3 for Xenosaga. But yeah, I'm not a complete moron. Mostly. We will never get this, and I know that, but I felt like it needed to be mentioned for those that don't know about Xenosaga. Hell, when I played the series, I never even knew about this. Granted, I lacked internet at the time. And really, I couldn't think of another improvement to make to the Xenosaga series. Nonetheless, I still support the idea of a Xenosaga HD Collection. Hell, if some of the things I said are fixed that can be fixed, I will actually buy a PS4 just to play this game, and give a full review as best I can, though odds are I'll need some help on that front. If you still wish to support the chances of this HD collection coming out, click the annotation and make sure to sign.
I'm the smartest moron, and well, I need to go take care of that Dante's Inferno review. Still sucks though. Can't I just review Castlevania Judgment? Get away from me, spawn of Satan!
Is it over?